Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Zelda Speedruns. A little bit of break the last couple days, but we come tonight with the grand finals, potential grand finals of the Breath of the Wild Any Percent Tournament 2025. Best of 5 tonight between Player5 and Moist Goulash. Strap in, we're gonna have a lot of plateau and a lot of beating our faces against Ganon. Litbooks, crazy. How are the two of you two doing?
Doing
We
great.
are
Thanks for
doing
having us.
great.
All right, I'm gonna hand it over to the two of you, and we will get this going.
All right. Well, welcome to our grand finals of 2025. This has been a long time coming, ever since end of March, April this year. I'm so excited to get into this, explain to you guys kind of how the bracket works, how this is all going to play out. And these runners are absolutely fantastic. So you're in for a really great treat tonight. Crazy, you want to tell us a little bit about the bracket?
Yes, for sure. So this bracket, actually prior to the bracket, there was a series of qualifiers. Runners had to participate in a couple of qualifiers that were any percent no amiibo runs in order to set their best time and use that to rank. In the end, we got a bracket of 31 runners, and our two runners in the finals today were the number 1 and 2 seed. So, they've been playing some high-level Breath of the Wild the entire way through here. This bracket was a double elimination bracket, so Player5 has yet to lose a match, while Moist Goulash was almost perfect until he met Player5 at the end of the winner's bracket, did lose and went down before making his way back up again.
Yeah, and those races against P5 and Moist were really tight. P5 did go 2-0 against Moist, but the races were super, super close. If you look on their times on speedrun.com, they're both very consistent runners. They've been kind of dominating the space for a while, with Moist being third, I believe, and Player5, well, Player5 is Player5, and he's been dominating the any percent scene for like 2-3 years now, right?
Yeah, both very high-level runners, and it'll be extremely exciting to see them today. One little news bit that we've never had to talk about before in one of these races is that, the Switch 2 came out recently, and yet our runners are not playing on it. It is not actually faster for Breath of the Wild speedruns, at least not with our current knowledge of the glitches. Both of our runners today... Go ahead.
We're not even playing on the most recent patch of the game anymore. Our runners are playing on 1.6. This is like a previously agreed upon rule that our runners have decided, because as many of you probably know, 1.8 and Switch 2 have patched out BLSS, which is one of our main movement techniques throughout this run.
Yeah, so 1.6 was the latest version at the time this tournament started, and so makes sense to finish this tournament out. I think obviously this development of getting a new version and a new console has created a lot of questions for the board, which our community is still figuring out exactly how we're going to handle it. But for this tournament, we are going to run the fastest version available, which is 1.6. And
I'm so sorry, I'm
enjoy
going to
all
have
the
to excuse
glitches.
myself for 2 seconds.
And we're off on the run. Both of our runners, you'll notice that they are playing in French. This is the fastest text language for the game. And one little note, for these tournaments, we always start the timer when the runners click new game. That's just the easiest for a tournament setting. But if you're comparing against their times on the leaderboard, we start the timing then with when the runners gain control of Link, which is about a 1 and 7 second difference. Moist got a very fast SOR clip using the scope clip. P5 didn't quite get it first try, had to do a reset, but got it on the second attempt. He's just going to be a few seconds behind. And our runners are going to make it down to get some of their essential equipment for the run. Our most important item in the game. Oh, we see Moist picking up some safety peppers there. Those are not mandatory for the run at all, but they provide a safety on some tricks. Both these runners, if they were going for PB attempts, would probably skip these, but in a race setting, makes a lot of sense to grab them. Grab those peppers for the backup food. Grab our pot lid. Shields are probably the most broken item in the game here. Lots of our glitches revolve around having a shield. And of course, we need a weapon for not really attacking things, but it helps with throw aiming and fall damage cancels, which we'll see in a bit.
All right, sorry, I'm back. My cat had a problem. All right,
back.
so we're gonna talk about the glitch. I just combined glitch and BLSS there. The glitch that has created so much controversy.
Yeah, BLSS here. We see it on Moist's screen. It is an extremely potent movement tech that we have here in Breath of the Wild. And it completely revolutionized the any percent run. Funny enough, it kind of was discovered mid-tournament a few years ago and completely changed like how the run was done during the tournament when it was discovered. And now it's the one glitch that we have found patched out on 1.8 and the Switch 2. So just taking out that one glitch, very minor thing, but it completely changes the landscape of the any percent run because of the movement tech that it unlocks.
Yeah, and as many of you know, we go to Bomb's Shrine first in our BLSS route because bombs are so powerful in this game. Our runners are both here going to collect their bombs. You're going to see them do a shield flip to get over to the ledge they're going to jump off to cancel out Ragdoll, and then perform extremely precise gamer wind bomb, which Moist hits very, very well here. Gets up to the bomb shrine.
Yeah, nicely done. Oh, both runners. Oh, wow. P5 with an even better angle to land right at the monk. That's wild. This is likely the trick that they were getting the peppers for. If you don't hit that as precisely and you fall lower down, there's a chance that Link will sort of ragdoll and take a little bit of extra damage and you'll die. So our runners pick up the peppers just in case they fall short there. They can eat it, and that'll be enough to make sure they stay alive.
Well, you want to probably listen here for the old man. He's going to sound a little funny. And the reason for that is because our voice acting is actually here in Italian. I don't remember if you talked about this yet, Crazy. Did you?
I did not. No, the text is in French, but our voice acting is in Italian.
Yeah, and so our voice act is in Italian because actually our dear friend moistgoolash found that you can save a couple seconds in Dark Beast by having Italian voice acting. Legend has it that he just really liked how Italian old man sounded and then consistently got better golds than everyone else in the community. And so then we had to investigate kind of why was this happening.
Yeah, so that's a fun little discovery, and it's so cool that like even after this game being out for nearly 8 years, we're still finding out that we haven't been running with the optimal language settings the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, so Crazy, why'd they pick up some fish there?
Yeah, good question. So this run really consists of two parts. First, we see them getting around the Great Plateau, which is sort of the required tutorial section of the game. And then after that, the world opens up, and that means, as speedrunners, of course, we're going straight to the end, and we have to fight all the bosses. And in order to fight all the bosses quickly, our runners are going to make an attack up meal. You can cook with certain ingredients that make meals with special abilities, and those fish that our runners picked up are all attack up fish. So by picking up enough of them, the runners will be able to make a meal that boosts Link's damage by 50%, which will speed up our fight with the Blights and Calamity. And of course, with weapon durability in this game, it's essential to make sure that you even have enough durability on all your weapons to get through them.
Yeah, and when they scan for those fish, obviously it's complete Amiibo RNG, so they're keeping track of kind of a little bit of a simple math equation there, see how much fish they got. Oh, and unfortunate, Moist misses Canal. It's another place where these peppers can come in handy. This is also a very tricky wind bomb. So now I think Moist is just going to run through.
Yeah, this one we call Canal Wind Bomb. Very precise to make sure that you get all the way over here. And we see P5 eat the peppers there to ensure that he lives when it doesn't do too much fall damage. It's really tricky to sort of get just the right amount of height to clear all the walls that you need to while also not falling from too high. And with that, we see Player 5 has caught all the way back up and has even a slight lead.
Yeah.
One of the things that has gotten faster with the Switch 2 is these loading screens that we see every time you go in and out of the shrines. Loads have gotten pretty significantly faster and save a good chunk of time, but not quite enough to offset missing BLSS. But I think there's some possibility there that, for longer categories that do a lot more shrines, we'll see that really add up.
Mm-hmm. Now, this BLSS is, I'd say, probably our longest and most difficult BLSS. Simply because, man, these developers put in a lot of trees on the way to our Stasis Shrine, which leads to our highest wind bomb in the game, which Player 5 executes really, really nicely. All the way up to Stasis. Whew.
Yeah, these runners make that look pretty effortless, but that the timing on that wind bomb is fairly precise. If you don't hit it quite right, Link will not clear the cliff and will smack into it, and that takes some. It loses you quite a bit of time to have to save and reload. Try it again.
Also, one fun other thing you can see that our runners also reused their skew from Cryo, so they didn't have to get it again on Stasis. These little optimizations that our top-level runners do that make them so great.
Yeah, and in this shrine we will see yet another wind bomb to skip over to the end. There's a couple different wind bombs here of varying difficulty, so we'll see which ones our runners are opting for. Player 5 going to run over. This is sort of... Oh, and we see actually... They make
both of them. Nice.
Both of them land there. Moist did the slightly faster strat. Player 5 ran all the way to the other side of the platform. That's definitely the easier wind bomb, but doing the wind bomb a little bit earlier off of the rotating platform does save a little bit of time.
All right, so they're going to cliff wind bomb?
I expect they'll at least both try it. This is another very precise wind bomb in order to clear yet another cliff. No, Player 5 opting not to, while Moist does.
Okay. Oh, tough,
it doesn't pay off. Hitting that wind bomb does save a little bit of time over doing this stasis launch here. But every wind bomb you do also takes a heart of damage. And so it makes the rest of the movement here through the cold section very time tight because Link only has so much health before he freezes to death.
Yep. This BLSS is... Yeah, sorry, you go for it.
Oh yeah, just getting a nice clean BLSS over here. I'd say both of them landed probably a little farther from the shrine than they would ideally want to, but that's just a little bit of time lost to running.
Mm-hmm. Wow, ESC is being nasty to P5.
Yes.
All right, and Moist basically saved all that time because ESC was being frustrating.
As far as these shield clips go, I guess these are specifically shield clips, which are different from the scope clip that we saw at the very beginning in the Shrine of Resurrection. The shield clip involves, well, obviously a shield. You end up riding it on a sloped surface, and if this sloped surface cancels the shield slide, the game kind of weirdly stores the angle that Link was at when he was shield surfing. And if you do another shield jump and unequip the shield midway there, it will snap Link to that angle very briefly. If in the middle of this snap, Link's feet end up inside of the wall, then the game will consider him on the other side of that wall and put him in there. And that's how we clip into all these shrines. The ESC that we saw through the front door is a extension on that. It's ESC literally stands for Extended Shield Clip, and it's a way of clipping through even thicker surfaces like the door there. And in some cases, it is faster than the non-ESC setups that we have.
Oh man, our runners are so close. They're literally within like a second.
Yeah, so now that they've completed all 4 shrines on Plateau, it is time to solve this little riddle that the old man gives them. He says to go where, if you draw an X between all the shrines, go to where they cross. Our runners probably don't read French, but they know where to go, and that is the Temple of Time. This prominent structure sitting on the Great Plateau, as if it was really much of a riddle. But yeah, that will sort of conclude the first half of the run. At this point, our runners will be able to get the player glider, and we'll have the entire rest of the map unlocked to them. But of course, as speedrunners, they're just going to go straight to the end.
It's a decent plateau time. I mean, definitely not like PB pace for these runners, but these runners have actually both been doing mostly Switch 2 or Tears of the Kingdom, so to have kind of a sub 14-ish plateau after not practicing for a while is okay.
Yeah, it's very solid.
Yeah.
And now we're going to see another BLSS here. Ooh, Moist. Looks the book will get a little close for comfort there, but escapes it.
All right, and this is the part where you guys gotta rage because the game can kind of screw you a little bit here with our route. We're relying a little bit on the fact that the Switch one is a potato. It doesn't load things super well, and we are using that to our advantage to be able to get in through an unloaded gate in Castle. So you'll see these runners putting their camera up in various places just to help the Switch not load well. So hopefully both of our runners will not get any... Oh. They're a commentator curse. I'm so sorry, P5. So P5's going to do here a extended shield clip, which is actually been practicing a lot more because Switch 2, as you might guess, kind of doesn't allow you to get this unloaded gate, and so players have been, practicing this ESC a little bit more.
Yeah, but with that, we see that Moist has definitely taken a lead, managed to get that unloaded gate, and our runners are now running through Castle. They're going to collect all the weapons that they need for the boss rush.
And I do want to note something. Player5 did accidentally break his shield, so he'll need to pick one up somewhere along the way to do some things. But, yeah.
He specifically ended up breaking the shield as a way of trying to fix the ragdoll glitch. There's something that happens after you perform the shield clips that will mess up your wind bombs. It will sort of prevent Link from ragdolling properly. And so you want to land on your shield and flop in order to reset that. We see he picks up another shield here, so there was one pretty much on the way. But hopefully that shield break did clear it. Otherwise, his next wind bomb might have some trouble. Oh, actually,
you can see
flopping here.
Yeah.
To make sure there's no problems.
Yep. See both Moist and Player5 doing our 3 ancient arrow route, which requires players to clip out of bounds. We're going to say hello to Craig here, our resident Royal Guard Sword Moblin.
Edge of Duality.
Edge of Duality, sorry. Brain. And they're going to go ahead and... Oh, unfortunate for Moist. I don't think he has any more food, which is a little bit of a problem because now he's going to have to scan for food. And this is going to make his attack up really, really tight. Like, really, really tight. It's already pretty tight. I mean, it's tightish to begin with, but this is scary.
Yeah. Definitely our runners, don't want to pick up a lot of extra materials, so their attack up food doesn't give a lot of leeway for the fights if they go long. And so, yeah, another back and forth here. Player5 jumps into the lead by hitting that wind bomb first try. And now we see Windblight skip here. It's a pretty cool glitch. If you shoot an arrow at the same time that you walk into the cutscene with some precise setups, then the arrow will be lodged in Windblight's head during the cutscene and will repeatedly damage him and eventually kill him without ever exiting the cutscene. Pretty cool.
Let's see if we can get any triple hits here on Windblight. Be cool. I mean, Waterblight, my brain.
Pretty nice phase 2 from both runners. Player5 just a few seconds ahead.
Yeah, the main thing we're going to be watching here, blights are hard, but they're kind of routine at this point for these runners. Is we're really going to be watching Moist attack up timer. If you look up here, Moist has only got 220, where Player5 has got just under 3, I think. So it's going to be tight, tight, tight.
Yeah. Our runners really have a script that they follow of pretty much every hit for these fights. The weapon durability routing is pretty tight. You don't get a lot of extra hits. And like with the best routing, actually, you want to take advantage of the fact that the last hit of a weapon, when it breaks, deals double damage. And so most of the weapons are going to break throughout the course of these fights.
We're also looking for here, Fireblight has a slight bit of RNG to him where he can get up early a little bit, and so hopefully for these runners he doesn't. Oh, dude, I need to stop saying things as they happen.
Yeah, with this, so Player5 doesn't get the one cycle, Moist does, and with that we have yet another lead change.
Oh my gosh. Alright.
I don't even know really what happened with Player5's there. Like, the timing looked good. He just slammed a few frames after when Fireblight had phased out and was no longer hittable.
Yeah, Fireblight's just dumb sometimes. Yes, and remember, folks, this is a best out of 5. You potentially could get 10 runs tonight. Wouldn't it be crazy if they were all like this? I know.
Pretty clean on the Thunderblight so far.
Indeed.
And Moist heading into Calamity with Player5 just a few seconds behind.
Alright, so here we're looking for perfect headshots and a good flurry rush to start this with. And so hopefully this will go pretty much as planned. Calamity has some RNG, but our goal is for our runners obviously to get Calamity down as fast as possible. But with good headshots and a clean Calamity phase 1, you can basically makes it so that Calamity won't go to the wall in phase 2, which both of our runners are doing very, very well with.
Yeah, we are a little bit dependent on the moves that he chooses to do, particularly in phase 2. You have to wait for him to throw out an attack that is parryable, preferably the laser shot. And so we see Moist get the instant laser here. That's super nice for him. Player 5 unfortunately gets the attack first, and now he will get the laser. And so that's another small thing that goes advantage Moist.
Oh my word. This race is so tight. Alright, now we're gonna stun lock, which is like very routine for these runners, but again, when you've got sweaty hands, when you're a little bit nervous, sometimes it's like a little bit difficult. So hopefully both of our runners will just grind it out.
Yeah, the timing on it isn't too tight, but you need to make sure that you don't run out of stamina, and of course our runners want to get in as many spins as possible, so they're going to be intentionally letting their stamina bar get pretty low. Occasionally that can lead to some issues, but none for either of our runners here, and Moist is going to go into Calamity Ganon with a few second lead.
Wow, what a race. What a race.
Extremely close. Calamity Ganon here is pretty much an auto-scroller, or a Dark Beast Ganon is pretty much an auto-scroller. There's not much you can do to speed it up, other than, as we talked about earlier, change your language to be faster. There tends to be a little bit of RNG on the load times, but at this point that's kind of already passed, and Moist is clearly in the lead. Our runners will be listening.
Sorry.
Our runners will be listening to sound cues for when these targets pop up, so that they can shoot them ideally on the first frame that they appear. And if they manage to get that frame perfect shot, the Zelda's voice line actually doesn't play. Neither of them got it here, but they'll have 2 more shots at what we call a speechless Dark Beast shot.
That is really one of the only ways that you can get Dark Beast to be a little bit faster. A tiny bit faster.
Yeah. So it's going to be 3 sets of these targets, and then the final shot. Moist finishing up set 2 of 3. Player 5 just about to do his second set as well. Actually misses a shot there. The pre-fire was just a little too soon. Obviously, that's something you risk when you're aiming for a frame 1 shot. Sometimes you're a little bit before.
Oh man, my heart is still racing from this race. Wow, that was so tight in Calamity. It really did come down to, unfortunately, Calamity RNG. For the most part, both runners each had their own little mistakes. But yeah, Calamity giving the instant laser is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Moist was a little bit ahead at that point, partially due to the Fire Blight, which I think that one, like, right on the edge. I feel like if you asked Player 5, he would say he should have gotten that one. Yeah, GG's Moist, taking the first round. Pretty wild. 25:56 on our timer here. Subtracting the 107, that would end up being a 24:49 on the leaderboard, which is within a minute of, or actually just slightly a minute over Moist's PB. So playing very close to our runner's top potential.
Yeah. Again, like we said, these are 2 of the most consistent runners of Breath of the Wild, period. So it'll be really interesting to see how this kind of like these races play out. Just who can kind of sustain over with longevity and consistency. Player 5, once tried to see how many any percent runs he could do in 24 hours, and I think the average was like under 25 or something like that. Something crazy like that.
Yeah,
So-
he completed 50 runs in 24 hours. So
Yeah.
very wild.
All
On
I'd
the
say is
note
very
of
consistent.
this tournament, I mean, Moist takes game 1, but this is a best of 5. And not only is it a best of 5, the double elimination bracket comes with a bracket reset. So if Moist takes the first best of 5, that will be Player 5's first match loss of the tournament, and there will be a bracket reset for a second match between these two.
All right,
I think-
gonna break in for a quick moment. We are gonna take a short little break, 2 to 3 minutes before game 2. Gonna stay right here, so Lit Crazy, you two are good to just keep on trucking. Going to run a short Twitch ad just to knock off pre-rolls for anyone coming in once the race starts. So don't panic. Just a short break, couple of minutes, get up, stretch, and I'll turn it back over to you two. We'll get going with game 2 here shortly.
All right.
For those of you not getting ads, you get to hear us yap instead.
Woo, 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 woo. Good question, Jay for Jonas. So for Player5 on his stream, on ZSR, just for simplicity reasons, we start at new game for our timing, but Player5 is timing based on leaderboard rules, which is when he gains control of Link. So that's why it's about 1 minute and I forget how many seconds.
Yeah, 1 minute 7 seconds. So the timing there worked pretty much exactly as you'd expect. So yeah, that's pretty wild. I was looking back at the bracket to see if this was Player 5's first race loss of the tournament. I actually think it isn't. According to the bracket that we have here, it looks like in round 3, Player 5 actually won 2-1 versus Frozen BNK. So took a loss at one point earlier, but he has not had many of those. So good job to Moist for taking one here and getting a advantage in the best of 5.
Oh, it's going to be tight the whole way, probably, which is so exciting.
Yeah, super cool. Just thinking a little bit back through our runners' runs and some of the things that they'll be looking to improve upon. At the very start, Player 5 had to do second try on SOR clip. I expect he'll get that one again very soon, given that it starts literally every Breath of the Wild run. Both of these runners have practiced that. I'm literally thousands of times how to clip out of SOR. He'll get back at that one. Both of them got Gamer Win Bomb, very impressive. Moist struggled a little bit on Canal Win Bomb and had to run through. That one is certainly not a gimme, but again, you'd expect him to hit it more than not. And thinking the stasis split was pretty clean for both of them. Slightly different strats on the Win Bombs, but they both hit the ones that they went for. Moist attempted the Cliff Wind Bomb after stasis, but didn't quite hit it, whereas Player 5 decided to not even attempt it. There's only a little bit of time lost there. I'd expect they stick to the same strategies, though maybe Moist would decide he doesn't want to attempt the Cliff Wind Bomb if he just doesn't quite have the timing today, or maybe Player 5, now that he's behind a game, will decide he needs to take some riskier strats. We'll see.
LP, it's just difficult for our restreamers to start when both runners gain control of Link because they have different load times. So we just start our timer at new game.
And yeah, most of the differences, I think, are no, it really went back and forth. Both runners
It
very
so
tight
did.
at the end of plateau. Oh, obviously, gate made a pretty big difference for player
Yes,
5.
Gate was a big. Well, to be honest, he actually got the ESC pretty quick. It was that I wasn't quite paying attention about what completely happened, but he like broke his shield trying to clear ragdoll. We just got a little bit behind there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even with the optimal ESC, you're going to lose a little bit
Yeah.
of time. Obviously, I mean, he's such a strong runner that the recovery was, very fast and it lost minimal time, but in a race where the seconds matter, those are definitely seconds that he wish he didn't have to spend doing extra backups.
Yep. All right. Here we go again.
Yeah, kicking off race 2.
What's that meme? Is it what I said? All right, here we go again. Is that GTA 5? Oh no,
I don't know.
it's something different.
I'm a Zelda player. I don't know about other games.
Oh, Vice City. Okay. See, Cubs knows what I'm talking about.
Alrighty, game 2. Moist up 1-0 in this best of 5. Looking to take a commanding 2-0 lead, while player 5 looks to even it up at 1 apiece.
Yep.
Flashbang for the intro. And then our
As
runners will be
always.
off. First question, who gets out of SOR first? Last time it was decisively Moist.
I. It's just funny. It's decisively moist. Sorry.
It was. Moist hit it first try. Player 5 had to
Just
take a second
sounds
attempt.
weird, okay? Oh yeah, what happened to our timer? Did we not start another race room? Okay.
Oh, and this
I'm
time,
sure Cubs will figure it
decisively,
out.
player 5.
Player 5.
Moist taking the second attempt. So, flipped from the original start.
Mm-hmm.
Only a few seconds time loss, but as we saw last race, the seconds really do matter.
Oh yeah.
We'll see again, too, if our runners... Oh, there's our timer. Thank you, Cubs.
Perfect.
I assume both runners are going to stick with the strat of picking up peppers, but we see it there from player 5. And Moist as well. Another
Right.
strat that would be interesting that they could potentially break out here is the scope clip into the Temple of Time. That is something that player 5 does in the world record. Probably considers that a riskier strat because of the bombs ESC that you have to do to follow it up, but be interesting to see any adjustments our runners make based off of tricks they did or did not hit in the first run.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Both of them going with the more traditional shield clip into the Temple of Time. Oh, a little bit of trouble with the pot there for player 5, but easy recovery and off on his way for the BLSS. Little more notes on the BLSS and how it works. By doing a series of inputs, we are able to do a bow lift smuggle, which is the BLS of BLSS. It allows Link to have an item, hold it in his hand, and have it still attached to him, while also having the bow out and being able to walk around. And the way that we trigger the slide is by jumping up onto a specific pieces of terrain where Link does a step-up animation. During this step-up animation, the gravity is turned off for Link. He is not pulled down, and the object in his hand is able to push him away from that wall, and then through the series of wiggling, we can keep that object pushing him in order to build up speed. Oh, we see Player 5 come up short on Gamer Wind Bomb this time. As
And
does
Moist.
Moist. Oh no, and Moist
Oh,
dies, doesn't use the safety peppers.
unfortunate.
Dang, yeah, that's going to be a tough time loss for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be. he saved it. No, he did. He did try to eat the peppers. He just ragdolled an extra like. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Yikes. He ragdolled an extra mole.
Yeah, I mean, that is the danger with this one. Hits it on the
Yep.
third try, which is better than missing it again, but yeah, that's gonna sting, losing a good chunk of time there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is definitely not over. There is still, 20 plus minutes left in this run and many more dangerous places where glitches can be missed. But this is definitely the biggest gap that we've had across, bigger than any gap we had in the first race. So he will have his work cut out for him in catching up. Just to finish the thought that I was having on BLSS, the reason we think that it got patched in the later versions with the Switch 2 is that it was likely kind of a complete accident on Nintendo's part. In all likelihood, they changed something minor, either with the physics or the step-up animation, as a result of the Switch 2 60 FPS, and it just ever so slightly broke the ability for the object in Link's hand to accelerate him. You're still able to do every part of the BLSS except the part where the bomb or other object pushes Link around. And it's the only glitch that we know of that got patched, so seems like it was likely just some byproduct of a small change they made there.
Slightly unfortunate fish scans for Moist. Player 5 there only had to scan twice for his attack up food, whereas Moist had to do 3 scans. So, those little things definitely add up, especially when you feel like you're behind. Hopefully, Moist can take a deep breath and kind of just hit when he needs to hit for the rest of this run and not feel rushed. Because that's kind of the tendency when you know you're behind, kind of start to make more rushed mistakes because you're trying to go fast.
Definitely. Consistency is the name of the game for these races. Different than what you'd otherwise do. In a PB attempt, you might go a little reckless, and if a run dies, so be it. You start a new one. But in these ones, you got to keep pushing forward and bounce back even when the tricks don't go exactly how you want. Good wind bomb there for Player 5.
Really nice. He didn't even have to eat anything.
See if Moist also goes for Canal. I expect he will.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Nice bounce back there. Excellent. Cool. Does get a ricochet off the wall, so he eats just to ensure that he doesn't die again. Already had one too many deaths on a Shrine Wind Bomb. Player 5 doing the Stasis BLSS. Ooh, not taking the line that he probably wants, going on the other side of that rock and
Yeah.
spinning around, but some
He gets there
furious
anyway.
wiggling there. He's able to get back on course.
Yeah.
And just not to hit anything. That's kind of the important thing.
Yeah.
Hitting a tree or a rock can really kill all your momentum in this state. But very clean wind bomb and clip, and he is in the shrine with a pretty significant lead.
Yep.
Moist. Hitting a nice BLSS. Gonna try and get a straighter line than Player 5 had and make up a little bit of time there.
Yep, definitely
nicely
a little
done.
bit of time. And you might ask, okay, so why do they aim right there? Why do they scope aim? It's because our runners are trying to get the most cardinal wind bomb that they possibly can here. If you know anything about BTBs, one of the biggest things that you can learn is kind of what different wind bombs do when they're associated with different directions. So when you have cardinal wind bombs, your wind bombs go higher. Whereas ordinal did not. So if you want height, you definitely go cardinal.
Yeah, that's a kind of a fun property where if you jump and drop the square bomb, it's always going to align its edges with the north, south, east, west of the compass. That's why we call them cardinal wind bombs. And depending on what side of the square bomb hits Link, you get different behaviors.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Vivo's set of tutorials if you want to learn all that there basically is to know about wind bombs. They're great tutorials.
Yeah. Moist hitting another nice early wind bomb there in stasis off of the ramp. See Player
Saves
5
a little bit
again
of time.
just go for the boulder launch. Be curious to see if Moist goes for Cliff Wind Bomb again. Ooh, a little bit of troubles on the step up there, but he gets it second try.
Yep.
Another Cliff Wind Bomb attempt for Moist. Doesn't get it. This one is a little easier to bail out of. I think he just noticed that the timing wasn't quite right. Decides not to go all the way through with the detonation, and quick backup there on the rock.
ESC was also a little bit nicer to P5. Oh, it didn't explode its bomb. Oh my gosh, Moist. You got this, dude.
Tough.
Yeah.
Gets the step up there. Very nice.
Yeah. So hopefully Moist can follow suit with a nice ESC.
One of the things that the knock-on effects of losing BLSS for the Switch 2 is that the fastest route is not to do the bomb shrine first, and in fact the bomb shrine is done last, which means that our runners have to find alternate ways of completing the shrines before bombs. In this one, they win bomb through all the shrines, which is quite fast, but seeing the other strats is pretty cool too.
Crazy. I just need to stop trying to, I don't know, predict things.
Stop wishing our runners well on hard tricks.
Yes. It's been like every time.
Well, there's still plenty of races to go.
Yeah. Be fine. Nice wind bomb there.
For Moist.
That is the faster version of that wind bomb. like when I do this wind bomb, I usually just land up on that shelf because I'm not going for that wind bomb. The nice ricochet off is the slightly more tricky version. It's
Oh my!
oh
Oh
no.
no! Player 5 there, not getting the fall damage cancel off in time. That will
That will
that's
even it
exactly
right
the
back
kind of
up.
thing
Oh
that can
my
happen.
gosh. He doesn't know. But he's actually still ahead.
Yeah, or they're gonna be pretty close to synced. Yeah, he's ever so slightly ahead because the old man still got to talk to Moist. But yeah, they're gonna end up basically the same spot. Sort of interesting seeing his reaction there. Right, first, as soon as he dies, he quits out of the game, which would normally be how you reset. You know, you just close the game out to get rid of any preloading and start over. But managed to catch himself before he did that. That would have been much more of a time loss. And yeah, just like that, the few second gap is closed. Very nice shield jump there from Moist to get into the paraglider. And yeah, just a few seconds difference.
Yep. So now we're talking. This is time that can be completely made up by RNG, unfortunately, and just basic movement as well. Of course, as always, any death is going to be impactful. But before I would have said it would have taken a death from P5 to make it up, and well, here we are.
Yep.
But notice how I didn't say that.
I don't know. It sounds like even just thinking it for you may be too dangerous.
I see.
Here, I'll talk about the gate. Last
Alright.
run, the gate was a pretty big impact. Only loading for Player 5 and forcing him to do a clip. This time, hopefully, he manages to get through.
Oh
Looks
my
pretty
gosh,
good.
very unloaded.
Yes. You know, sometimes you never know. Occasionally, you're like, wow, it's such low poly, I can't even see the opening where the gate goes in, and you run in and you crash into something. It happens. But not
Yeah.
that time, which is good to see. I'm sure Player 5 would not have appreciated going 2 for 2 on loaded gates. Moist
Yeah.
also getting the unloaded gate. And yeah,
You might
just
be
a few
asking
seconds
kind of
behind.
like, why do they headshot this moblin? That seems like unnecessary and like we're wasting an arrow here. So crazy. Why did they do that?
They headshot the Moblin because it makes the sneak strike just a little bit easier. Turns out the Moblin doesn't think so straight when he gets shot in the head. He just sort of stands up and looks around and doesn't notice Link sneaking up behind him. If you don't do that headshot, it is still totally doable to sneak up on the Moblin, but you have to just sort of slow walk to him, and it's slightly faster to do the headshot. There's also a secondary use a little bit later in the run, which is that our runners want to enter the final boss rush with exactly 7 normal arrows. That's the number that they will use during the blights, and that means that on Calamity, when they pick up the bomb arrows in the Sanctum, Link will automatically equip those bomb arrows without having to menu because he is picking up those arrows with no arrows equipped.
Yeah. This out of bounds section is interesting. You can see both of our runners are performing a scope clip. It's not one of our normal shield clips. In order to get over to Craig. And yeah, you can see all the little menuing things that they do to get to that optimal amount of arrows. Like Moist, if you notice, he tends to shoot his arrow, his extra arrow, oh my gosh, right before doing the second wind bomb.
Yep. Again, just trying to get down to exactly 7 before facing the blights.
Mm-hmm.
Moist cleaning up that wind bomb there that gave him a little bit of trouble last time.
Mm-hmm. This is a pretty decisive lead for P5. See how this goes. This is definitely, I'd say P5's race to lose here.
Yeah, I think he's built up enough of an advantage that probably not just RNG alone would swing it for Moist, but there's still definitely he's gonna need some good execution to see it to the end. Obviously, a death here is extremely impactful. Having to go all the way back through the Blights and Calamity is a massive time loss.
Yep.
So far, getting all the hits that he needs to.
Yep. Oh,
Ooh,
really?
and as soon as
Dang.
okay, apparently I'm catching
Moved.
whatever you have.
Yeah. It's not a big deal right there. The boomerang is not super essential on durability. Remember, we said durability is super, super important here. The boomerang is like the most expendable thing that we have.
Yeah, there's a few extra hits available on that. And likely it's right at his feet, so he'll be able to pick it up right here in order to do the next hits that he needs to on Fireblight.
Yep.
Player5 will be looking to get the 1 cycle here. Eluded him last time. 2 hits with the boomerang, a throw, and then some precise triple hits here. And very well done. Gets through phase 2 without Fireblight teleporting away.
And you'll see that they kind of place the bomb behind, or they stand behind Fireblight in order to make those hits easier.
Yeah, you won't be able to hit him as he's standing up there. And that's some nice positioning to sort of hit him both on the body and his larger arm.
So Player5 is about a phase ahead right now. So again, pretty commanding lead. Ooh,
For Moist.
sketchy. Okay.
Seems all right, but yeah, he had to do an extra spin there. Just a little bit of time loss.
Yeah. It always feels so nice when you're at this phase of Thunderblight. It's just like so much easier.
Yeah, the second phase, assuming things went well in the first, is definitely, I'd say, a little bit easier, and now you don't need to worry about him teleporting away and zapping you with lightning.
Alright, again, for Player5, we are looking for really nice headshots. He already got his Flurry Rush off. It's great.
We see Moist doing a slightly different strat than he did last time. He's going for the quick rush there that involves holding the bomb over Link's head while getting the Flurry Rush. Just saves a little bit of time. You don't get the same sort of like cinematic pause in between the Flurry Rush and Link attacking.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Player5 having to get a parry in there, just because he didn't get quite enough headshots on Calamity.
Yeah.
Finish him off with the single instead of hits. He did get instant laser this time, and is now...
Oh no, Moist.
Oh.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, that's not. That stinks for Moist.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Player5 had a little bit of an issue getting his stun lock started, but he'll, in like all likelihood, be able to keep it going.
Yeah. In all likelihood, Moist is probably not going to finish here because he knows that Player5 is close.
Yeah.
Runners are allowed to have their opponents up if they wish to. So that's probably how Moist knows.
Yeah. This is just a straight race. There's no hidden information. Our runners are doing the exact same thing. So we allow it. In other types of competition, like bingo, where what your opponent is doing is hidden information, then we don't allow them to watch the stream. But Moist gonna take a moment here to reset. Good news for him, it's tied. Taking that first match, pretty big. So we see Player5 finishing off Dark Beast Ganon. I'm not sure that he's hit a single speechless yet. Let's see if he gets it.
Hopefully he does. Be a nice, not confidence booster. He's fine with confidence, but motivation.
See if he hits it here. This one I would say is the hardest. Nah, it doesn't quite get it. He has one more attempt on the belly shot, though. Moist going over here to check out the Sacred Grounds ruins. There would be a memory here if he had followed what the old man said and went and talked to Impa, and then followed what she said and went and talked to Purah, and eventually you'd get to unlocking the memories, but nothing of note here. Link doesn't remember squat.
Alright, coming up on GG's here for P5. GG, P5.
GG. Looks like he got basically the exact same time as last time.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. I think it's a little faster.
I think it's literally a second
Maybe?
faster. Like,
Well,
literally 1
because
second.
I don't know how accurate our timer is.
He has the timer showing on his own stream. It's literally a second faster.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Never mind.
Which is interesting,
Okay.
right? Because he actually arguably had a bigger mistake in this run, taking the death on the Temple of Time slide. But I guess everything else was just cleaner to have it, have it work out to basically the same time. One major mistake versus multiple smaller ones that he had on the first run.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gonna take another couple minute break here. Going to actually run the ads to knock off free rolls this time. Apparently that didn't actually happen before. So again, if you need probably about 3 minutes, we'll get started with race number 3 of 5. So if you need a moment, now's the chance. Crazy, Lit, floor is yours.
All right. I actually probably going to use the restroom real quick. So, Crazy, if you want to yap, you can. But I'm going to do that real quick.
Sounds good. Y'all without ads are stuck with me. I do think it's pretty interesting. Player5 setting pretty much exactly the same time shows the consistency. Moist, I would also consider, an extremely consistent runner. Basically, he knows going into this with it tied, like, if he can pull off the same time as his first run, and Player5 is kind of running at this same time, then he's got another one. So, yeah, will be cool to see how our runners bounce back in this third race. Is, I think, interesting that this round, the finals, is the first best of 5. All throughout the rest of this tournament, the first few rounds are just best of 1. Then these runners did multiple rounds that are best of 3, but only at the finals level are we doing best of 5, which is a lot of running back to back. we know that we're getting at least 4 matches here, which will have, for a 30-minute category, basically, still be 2 hours spent running, and quite possibly even more than that. So, I mean, these runners, I'm sure they've done that before. Getting good practice in means doing the run over and over again, and they certainly have practiced a lot. Looks like they're both getting ready. Probably gonna start again almost immediately here.
Crazy, are you there?
I am here, yes.
Perfect.
We should be starting here again fairly soon. If you are just joining us, that we are tied up 1-1 in this best of 5, Player 5 versus Moist. The number 1 and 2 seeds in this Breath of the Wild Any Percent tournament. Very exciting. Moist took the first match. Player 5 took the second. And very shortly here, we'll be seeing the third match to see who will take the 2-1 lead.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, hopefully, we're still able to calm his nerves a little bit and just break out just a really consistent run. It is interesting because he is doing technically slightly less safe strats. Like there's just like two strats that he's basically doing a little bit less. That could potentially give him an edge, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, running a little more aggressively. And I mean, that makes sense. He is objectively, the slightly lower seed. These runners are both at a really high level, but I'm sure Moist sort of recognizes that if they were both to play at their absolute maximum, Player 5 has the edge, and so he's gonna take those slightly more aggressive strats to overcome that. Start getting that countdown.
Yep. Hoping for a really nice tight game again, like the first one all the way to the end. That'd be great.
Definitely. I mean, there's always the chance of death is what makes all these runs exciting, and both our runners took death's last run, which kept it close till the end. But never want to see that for the runners. That's always really unfortunate, and as much as we commend their mental fortitude for bouncing back, it's gonna got to be real tough to take a death, and we want to see them both succeed and go really fast.
Absolutely.
So far, the runner who gets out of SOR first has won the match. So we basically will know who's going to win within these next,
right now,
40 seconds or so.
it's definitely how this works.
Yeah. It's happened 100% of the time and will continue to happen 100% of the time.
True. So a really, really random little Easter egg for you guys. You might notice that there's kind of like two options when you look for French on your Switch. You're like, oh, should I choose Canadian French for my Switch or regular French for my Switch? You actually want to choose French, because Canadian French is slightly slower. And the way you can tell that is with the lowercase s on the Sheikah, right in the text box we just saw.
Yeah, there's some very small differences. Oh my.
Oh no.
Going P5's way again on the SOR clip. Moist is doomed.
Doomed from the very start, I tell you.
Obviously not. We've seen swings much larger than the few seconds there.
Yeah.
It is interesting to me that one of them has struggled each time, though. Like,
Yeah.
just goes to show that even at the highest levels, SOR clip is undefeated, and it will only let you out when it feels like.
It's dumb. Alright. Now, you might think, okay, getting that spear looks pretty easy. Like, they're doing it so consistently. When you actually try it, it's quite hard to, like, manipulate the bokos in such a way that you get the spear consistently every time. It's definitely a skill.
Yeah, if you just run down that hill without thinking about it, in all likelihood, you will not end up with the spear. Our runners, it's not super precise, but they're going to have a pattern for how far they run when they start and stop the whistle sprint, because that will change when the bokoblins are alerted. And even like whether you have the bokos on camera versus have the camera pointed up above them can make a bit of a difference there. So it's not terribly hard, but it is something that you kind of have to learn the first time to get it right.
Mm-hmm. You might also notice that our runners don't get skew here. You might be like, oh, why is that? It's because we actually reuse the skew from Temple of Time. It's got the exact same angle. So we can just reuse it.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice property that this run has. You're able to reuse the skew from Temple of Time on the Bomb Shrine, and then also reuse the skew that you get for Mag on Stasis.
This is why you shouldn't ever confuse Ragdoll with skew, because they are different things. And you can keep your skew while clearing Ragdoll.
And so then for those of you who may have been watching the BTB route run recently, that's another place where the BTB route ends up losing out some time against the BLSS route, because when you do a BTB and you end up doing the shield surf for it, you lose the skew, and so there's no way to reuse the skew between shrines. You have to get it again every time.
Oh, that was scary a little bit.
So Player5 fall a little short on the gamer win bomb there. And Moistgool as well. But at least
you didn't get the funky ragdoll. Yeah, it was so dumb last run. Just like one extra roll.
Ragdoll's not the most predictable thing. Player5 holding the slight lead. Pretty much entirely gained through the SOR clip. Everything else in this split was clean for both our runners. Next up, we will have the amiibo scans. See how many fish our runners, or how many scans it takes for our runners to get the fish they need.
You can prage for your given runner, whoever you're supporting, to get 2 scans. 1 is crazy. We expect probably about 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think these runners probably end up scanning 2 kind of regardless.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of the time the strat is to scan one and then scan the other, and sort of during that pause time, you look at the fish that are still falling from the first scan to determine if you need a third.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're looking for kind of like the silverfish, and then the red and white fish is your big ticket items here. And then they will also be looking for these green fishes just to kind of complete the attack up. So pretty nice fish there for player 5.
Yeah.
See
Did
how
he
Moist
get-
got really nice porgies.
Did player 5 manage to get 2 carps or only 1 there?
I wasn't paying attention.
So,
Oh,
those of
interesting.
you-
Okay. Did you see what fish Moist picked up?
enough.
Moist also picked up a hardy salmon here. I think because of his death on Calamity, he's now gonna potentially cook an extra meal, which will give him a couple of bonus hearts. So we'll see. He may or may not, depending on how he feels. Potentially, as he's watching the race cam, see how he feels about that. Oh, that was by accident. Okay, never mind, Moist. Sorry. Just trying to give you the benefit of the doubt here.
For those of you who are into Breath of the Wild speedruns, and let's face it, all of you who have watched 3 of these are, the way you figure out how much fish you need is that in order to get the full level 3 attack up potion, you need 7 points of attack up material. And each of the carp are worth 2 of those points, and the porgies are worth 3. Now, there's also a razor shroom in castle that is always there that takes just a few more seconds to get, and so our runners need at least 5 points of attack up from the fish amiibo because they have that guaranteed 2 to get them to 7. But ideally they want to get all 7 from the amiibo drops to be able to skip that mushroom.
Mm-hmm. Nice canal wind bombs for both of these runners. And now Moist is a little bit farther behind, actually, because of that salmon pickup and some other things. So,
But still quite close, yeah.
Still
Basically
quite close.
just a monk text box and a single shrine loading screen. It's BLSS so far for P5, getting a very straight line, dodging the trees and rocks, and landing nice and close to the tree for the wind bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Easily
Nice
clearing
wind
the
bomb
left
there.
there as well. Very nicely done. Ooh, Moist clips the rock a little bit. Luckily that's one of the shorter rocks. Doesn't fully take his speed. Just disrupts it slightly. Oh no, Moist!
No.
Didn't quite get it, and now he's
Oh my
a little
gosh.
bit at the mercy of the Breath of the Wild autosaves. This we'll see where this puts him.
Oh, bruh.
So the autosave doesn't always put you where it shows on the little thumbnail. It puts you wherever it deems linked, sort of have last stood on stable ground. And if you're moving super fast, sometimes it doesn't record the fact that you've moved since then. So nice fast recovery there. He blows up the tree to get another BLSS spot to step up. And nice second attempt on that wind bomb.
Just a little tip, if you are practicing that wind bomb and you don't want to have that happen to you, if you hard save there, you usually would get put right next to the tree.
Yes. I think at this level, Moist is sort of hoping to roll the dice and get put back down at the bottom of the tree just off the normal autosave, but you can force it with that trick, which is definitely one that I would recommend to people racing for the extra consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Player 5 sticking with the trusty boulder ride strat.
All right. Nice wind bomb there from Moist.
3 on that wind bomb in stasis.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
This tournament is a best of 5 here. Our runners are tied up 1-1. First to 3 wins will win. However, because of the double elimination nature of this tournament, if Moist is the first to 3, that will trigger a bracket reset since Player 5 has yet to lose a match, and would get a rematch in another best of 5.
All right, a little time save here for Moist because he did the cliff wind bomb instead of taking the boulder up. He's going to kind of need all that he can get here in order to win this match.
Yeah, nice one. Sticking with that strat, manages to get it. First 2 runs didn't quite work out, but will be a good time save here. Sort of an interesting thing, when you move fast enough on that BLSS, you'll see that Moist is currently not suffering from cold damage, because you move so fast that the game doesn't have time to like load those cold zones and know that it's time to start ticking down the health.
The ZSCs are tricky because you have to clip in on the specific frame. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah,
And then
unlike
sometimes
some others,
you screws.
Mm-hmm. Unlike other Zelda games, it is not possible to do a single frame advance in this game. Pressing the quick menu buttons will always advance the game at least 2 frames, if not more. And so these frame perfect tricks, you can't just buffer them. Obviously, the fastest is to do basically minimal buffering, but yeah, even if you're trying to be as conservative as possible, you will not get the frame 100% of the time. Nice wind bomb inside the shrine again for Moist.
Mm-hmm. And I assume Player 5 is going to be very particular with this fall damage cancel right here. Just make sure that nothing happens. Yeah. Yep. He was very, very precise with that. It was like, all right, I'm going to change over here.
Pretty sure with that, this is going to be Player 5's fastest plateau of the race so far.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the fastest one we've seen. I'm not entirely sure. Moist's in the first round was probably a pretty similar speed.
Ooh.
Yeah, Moist is going to have his work cut out for him.
Mm-hmm.
With Player 5 already going on his way to the castle.
Yep.
One of the things you see both of our runners looking up at the sky during their BLSS. This is an attempt to reduce world loads that, just lose frames at a time, but those do start to add up over the course of the run.
Mm-hmm. And you may see our runners not wiggling as fast as they can all the time. And this is because this game actually does have a speed cap. So we see if Player 5 gets his unloaded gate, which he does, which is great. So actually, if you wiggle the entire time like a normal BLSS, you will speed cap and lose all of your speed. So our runners are very careful to not do that, because that would be make it difficult for a variety of reasons.
Yeah,
right,
losing
fine.
your speed obviously loses
Mhm.
time, and if you do it at the wrong time on this castle BLSS, it'll also increase the chances that the gate loads for you. Most of the time for the BLSSs on plateau, they're not really long enough to encounter the speed cap, though kind of famously, Moist is sometimes capable of hitting that speed. Uh, it's not a good thing because the speed cap tends to mess you up, but it is an impressive display of the BLSS wiggling.
Flicking ability.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nice
Player
movement
5.
from through castle for player 5.
And Moist. Oh, Moist's turn to get a loaded gate. Ugh.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. We'll see how good his ESC backup is. Also,
Nice.
incredibly fast.
Excellent.
Well done.
He's struggling to clip back in. Come on.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one's just a little finicky. You just have to position yourself correctly and let Link ooze his way through the floor. Or through the ceiling.
Yeah.
Player 5 nailing the movement. That is one of the despite these runners having practiced the new Switch 2 route a lot, that ESC is going to be one of the few places where that route really helps them. You basically have to do it on the Switch 2, and so I'm sure they actually have it in their muscle memory much more than they did at the start of the tournament.
Even though it's kind of wonky because 30 FPS versus 60, but yeah.
Yeah.
And you saw there Moist clearing his ragdoll. While player 5 is into blights.
Commanding lead for player 5, but the fights are one of the things that makes this run so great. It is not over until you have made it through these fights, and no matter how many runs of this you've done, the fights are not free. You really need to stay locked in, as the kids say, to make sure that you execute and beat them all. He's getting so much height on the wind bomb there that he ends up on top of the rocks.
Excellent phase 1 from player 5. And hopefully phase 2 will cooperate a little bit better than it did last run. Oh, he forgot to drop the bow.
Well, at this point, I think Moist is largely going to want to get it steady, make sure he gets things right. It probably will take a death from player 5 for him to catch up, but it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Player 5 finishing off the first phase of Fireblight. Going to see if he can get one cycle on phase 2 here.
Mm-hmm. With a good wind blade from Moist here. Alright, nice.
Does get that one cycle. Ooh, looked like Moist was able to get triple hits there on Water Blade. That's nice.
Feels
Takes
good.
some pretty precise lineups in order to get those triple hits there. Even at this level, not something these runners can get every time.
Lucky.
Nice
Oh,
recovery
nice.
there. Misses that slam hit, but manages to throw the boomerang in time to save.
He
Ooh,
saved it. Oh, that is not good.
All right.
Phew. He like clipped it instead of
Yeah, he clipped it.
finish.
It also messes up the start of your Fireblade a little bit because
Kind of run
normally
forward.
normally you start the phase with the Royal Claymore equipped, but because he did the boomerang throw, he had to re-equip it.
Oh, right.
Just adds a little bit of extra menuing that is not going to be in his normal muscle memory.
Much better headshots this time from Player 5.
No one cycle there for Moist, unfortunately.
Oh,
You see the little
like he is
shake of the
salty.
camera in frustration.
Right, instant laser for P5. Nice. So he should be on his way home.
Yep, well done. Nailing those parries. And just to get the Edge of Duality to break at the end of that sequence there, which is slightly faster than the strat where you throw it, lets you get in an extra with a Royal Claymore right away.
All right.
Well done. Probably going to be Player 5's fastest run of the match.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice blitz for P5. Very, very nice blitz.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even really have any major mistakes, did he?
I don't think so. He just went with all safe strats.
Yeah,
So
not
not
the
mistakes,
fastest
but
strat.
yeah, very clean, safe run.
Yeah, super solid. Pulling some
That was
Moist
good.
here. Oh,
Okay.
imperfect parry there. A little scary, but
Yep.
he's alive. That's good.
Mhm.
Nice. Manages to get that parry off.
This is where, unfortunately, Ganon may go to the wall.
Yeah, Ganon is pretty punishing sometimes. Oh my goodness. And that is his shield broken, but luckily there is the backup in the Sanctum here. Obviously, Moist's chances of winning are close to 0 here, but we'd still love to see him finish this run, because that would be a good mental booster, given that there are more runs to come, and he's definitely not out of this on a full match perspective. So getting the run finished would be good. Oh my goodness. Now, unfortunately, this is over.
Yeah.
He's got nothing I mean, he would be able to get through phase 1, but phase 2 is not going to be possible without a shield.
He says LOL.
Player 5 is one shot away from taking the 2-1 lead.
So the way this works is Player 5 needs to win one more in order for this set to be complete. For him to win it all.
Yeah.
But Moist can still come back. So we'll see. Alright, GG's to P5.
Yeah, GG's P5.
Nice sub 24.
Extremely fast.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive. Just 16 seconds off of Moist's PB. So, Player 5 putting up an incredible time for a race scenario. That's extremely impressive, and showing why he's the best in the world when he's on.
Indeed.
All right, that's game 3. Possibly 2 more to go. Taking another 2 to 3 minute break. I don't know. I'm gonna throw it back to you two because I got nothing at this time of night. I'm gonna be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
All yours.
Yeah, it's only 7:40 for us. Like, it's still light outside.
Yeah.
So,
Summertime.
yeah.
Stays out light, nice and late.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. How's your day going, Crazy?
My day was good. I was looking forward to this. This was the most exciting thing on my plate for today. Work was fine and all, but you know, speedrunning a little more lighthearted and fun.
Imagine having work.
Could be you.
No, couldn't be me.
Shout out to school teachers. They deserve their
Woot
summer break.
woot. Indeed. What did you have for dinner, Crazy?
I have not eaten yet.
Ah, I see. So you're really hoping it doesn't go to 10 matches.
Well, we'll get there when we get there.
At that point, I'd just get Taco Bell.
I see. That sounds like a good plan.
What would be your order from an Taco Bell right now?
What would be my Taco Bell order? I am not a well versed like Taco Bell. I am a Taco Bell enjoyer, but I would not consider myself at all like well educated about their menu. So I tend to just go with the Crunchwrap, and I figure that that's a solid, safe choice.
Just the Crunchwrap? Of all the things, just the Crunchwrap.
I don't know if there's some like combo that involves a Crunchwrap, then maybe I'll get whatever combo thing. But the Crunchwrap would be the main centerpiece of the meal.
I see. I do like their nacho fries right now. They've got really good seasoning on them.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Apparently their chicken nuggets are really good. I've not tried them yet.
Like I said, not a Taco Bell expert.
Bruh. Yeah, they just came out with chicken nuggets. Yeah, honestly, selfishly, I am hoping that Moist does win this run so we can commentate more runs.
It'd be fun to have it go the full 5.
Yes.
And always root for the underdog. And right now, Moist down 2-1. Let's see him even it up.
Yeah. Bro, now I really want Taco Bell.
This was self-inflicted.
Yeah. Indeed. I do have already food meal prepped, so whatever.
Alrighty, well, looks like our runners are getting prepared to go into our 4th match here. As we've said, Player 5 up 2-1 in this best of 5. 1 win away from taking the whole match and winning the whole tournament. And if Moist manages to win this one, he will tie it up and take us to the 5th match and threaten for a bracket reset.
Whoa. Dun dun dun.
Big stuff.
Indeed.
This is actually the first year, at least in many years, that this tournament is doing a bracket reset. The community voted before the tournament started on whether we wanted to give the winner of the upper bracket just a one game advantage in the best of 5, or whether we want the full bracket reset. And the community voted and decided to do the bracket reset. So we will see whether it is invoked.
Indeed.
15 seconds away from kicking off match number 4.
I'm excited to see how it plays out. It does seem that our running theory is correct. That the person who gets out of SOR first is the winner. So we'll see how that works out.
True. Honestly, I'm just rooting for both runners to get out of SOR cleanly. I'm sure that's never fun to start your run being trapped by SOR.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where in the PB attempts you have a bad SOR and you're just like, oh, I'll just try that again. But in the race, you just got to push forward.
Do we have a prize for this tournament? Or just glory?
Glory and bragging rights.
What if it was Taco Bell?
Oh.
I think that would be good.
You think that would be good?
Yep. Someone buy the winner some Taco Bell.
Well, I know these two met up at GDQ. We were there with them this last few months ago, so it sounds like Lit is volunteering to buy whichever one of them wins Taco Bell next time we meet up.
On my teacher's salary?
You're the one volunteering.
Yeah, the winner buys me Taco Bell sounds good. I like that.
I don't know, you're gonna encourage them to throw.
Oh my god.
Now they're both struggling on SOR.
Now I'm both in jail.
Already Player5 out by a hair, but not as big as when one of them struggles and the other doesn't. I don't know what this means for the theory of the person who gets out cleanly wins. But it means we're starting with the most even run to the pot lid that we've had so far.
Indeed. Both of them are gonna get these backup peppers real quick for the reasons we've already described, which is the gamer win bomb or any crazy things that may happen on Plateau. Yeah. Alright, Zelda. Yap.
Dirigiti al luogo segnato sulla mappa della tua tavoletta
Yep.
sceicca.
She talks a little bit. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if she wants to slow us down on our way to save her. Doesn't she know we already got it all figured out?
Mm-hmm.
Also, we like blatantly ignore her. She says to go to the point marked on the map on your Sheikah slate, which is the tower, which makes sense for, casual runners, but speedrunners don't touch that.
Casuals.
Or I guess just people who want to warp to other shrines throughout their longer speedruns. But any percent has no interest in that.
No. No. Only clips.
Yep.
Alright, so the last two runs, both of our runners have failed Gamer Win Bomb. So, let's see if one of them can get it, or both of them.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
pretty
they're
much tied.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe it's just it feels to me like Moist made up some time somewhere in there. Not sure exactly where it would have been, but
I think his VLSS around the corner of the Temple of Time was a little bit cleaner.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you just looks like he's closed the gap ever so slightly. We are quite close.
Mm-hmm. Wow, they're so close. Woo! All right, Prage. See some gamers. Oh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
See,
Oh,
Moist
and this
has to
bomb
play
is
soccer with that bomb because if you
so
press A
frustrating.
there on the elevator, it will. Oh,
Oh
no!
my gosh! No! 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 No!
Oh, unfortunate. Player
No!
5
What?
does not get the gamer win bomb, but unfortunately, Moist taking the death there.
Oh, poor Moist.
Fun little thing to note. He blew the bomb up there and knew he was gonna die. But he couldn't just reload the save, because if you try to reload a save while a bomb is blowing up in bullet time, the game punishes you by taking like a minute to load that save. It is literally faster to quit out of the game and reload again than sit through that super long load. No idea why. Just to punish speedrunners who fail their win bombs even harder. Player 5, slightly more of a lead now. Time to see what the fish RNG brings.
Hopefully, good RNG for both. Looks like we've got some interesting bets on the line here. Like firstborn children, lots of different things happening.
Sounds about equivalent to Taco Bell.
Uh-huh.
All right, plenty of carp there for P5. Did take 3 scans, but that's not
It's
too
fine
terrible.
enough. Ooh, a nice porgy there.
Moist scanning another. Not sure if that was strictly necessary, but maybe he just wants it. He may determine that the third scan is actually slightly faster than getting the mushroom in castle, and therefore it's worth it.
Yep.
Nice BLSS there.
All right. Oh,
The elevator clip being a little tricky. It's a little more precise than you might think. Likes to spit you out when you go fast.
I hate mag elevator so much. I cannot express. Do not like it. So frustrating.
Alrighty, player 5 gonna attempt Canal Wind Bomb. He's had a pretty good track record on it so far. This one, he's gonna eat.
Whew.
Oh, he doesn't eat, but he lives anyways. That was scary. I guess he knows something I don't, which that's fair.
So hopefully Moist can follow suit.
Yeah. Nicely done by Moist there.
Smack.
He's gonna eat just in case. And of course, when you eat, you don't take any damage. This is known as the food fall damage cancel, which is definitely a real thing.
Why did he unequip his shield?
I think that was just a mistake of the menuing.
Oh,
He was
okay.
trying to eat
I was
fast,
like,
but he
what?
was on the on the shield.
Well, you need that. Super straight BLSS here from P5. Up to that tree. Nice.
Nicely done. Manages to get over the cliff.
Very, very clean stasis. I always enjoy it when you can see Link's chompers in the when you're doing clips.
Yeah, the camera doesn't exactly know what to do when you're out of bounds inside of places you're not supposed to be.
Whee!
Nice wind bomb there for Moist. Got a very nice angle that carried him over to the side of the shrine that he wanted to be at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is one of the places that Moist can make up some time. He has been doing a slightly faster strat here in the shrine than P5. And, oh my! And right on cue there, P5 actually, a little bit of issue with his wind bomb.
So I'll catch him up a little bit. Especially, okay, good. He thinks to pick this bomb up instead of exploding it. It's nice that he was in a place where he could pick it up instead of explode it and save that time. But yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of the gap closing for Moist. Very nice wind bomb there. Lands him right on the stairs.
Again, we'll see here if Moist's strategy of being a little bit more aggressive is good here, because he will do a slightly different strat than P5 here. Hopefully it pays off for him.
Yeah, we'll see with the cliff wind bomb here.
And he's up.
Well
All
done.
right. Now they are tied pretty well. A little bit. We'll see. Just like slightly behind. Ragdoll was a little bit. Oh.
Yeah, super close. Very nicely done.
And then we will see whose ESC is nicer to them.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've had a variety of ESCs in these couple races.
You see Moist there have to eat a bit of safety food. That wind bomb taking an extra heart does matter.
Whoa.
Ooh, super tight there.
Dang.
Nicely done.
Dang.
Just super tight. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Drips almost at the same time.
Yeah.
If Moist had gotten a little bit better of a BLSS, I think it would have been a little bit more close, but he had to run a little bit farther on the snow than P5 did.
Yeah, I mean this is totally within the margin of error.
Bruh, oh no. Dang it.
Luckily, I mean, this vindicates Moist's choice to pick up do the extra scan and pick up more food.
Man.
He has
got
the
this,
extra
dude.
food to bear this.
This is the wind bomb I normally get. Up on this ledge.
Yeah. there is, I mean, there's just some risk with trying to take that more aggressive angle. Sometimes you're gonna get the
Yeah.
dead angle that
Mm-hmm.
Moist
Dead
got.
angle. And when we talk about dead angles, that's a little bit of what we were talking about before with like cardinal and ordinal wind bombs. Yeah, if you want to explain that a little bit, crazy, since we have watched this BLSS like 5 times now.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, the dead angles is also kind of related to the speed cap that can occur in BLSS. Basically, the game at a certain point, if you're going too fast, says you're going too fast. It's going to stop you. And as with the differences of how the square bomb hits Link, whether it gives him like height or not, it also gives you different amounts of speed. And so at certain angles, you get so much speed that you're gonna hit that speed cap and basically just instantly fail the wind bomb.
Stopping your
What happened there
tracks.
to Moist.
It's so frustrating. It's a little bit harder to keep track of in shrines too, because you don't have your compass.
Yep. All right. Unfortunate
Nice
time loss there for Moist, but only slightly behind.
Get your pages in the chat for P5 and his unloaded gate.
Moist about to be off on his way as well.
Yep. Oh
man.
my gosh. Oh my word. Okay, well this is tense. Holy. I mean, it's still he's depending on if it lets him back in nicely. Oh my gosh, the game.
He's nailed that ESC though. Very well done.
Yeah.
The recovery. Yeah, I mean he probably lost like as little time there as possible.
Yeah.
Hard to do that much faster. And Moist getting through. Alrighty, so that's
okay.
A little bit of time made up for Moist.
Yep. Alright.
Moist having to wait for the sword to load there, but he gets it.
Moist is
manages
still
to get the speed
like
strike off.
15 seconds behind? I don't know. I'm not as good of a judge of time as you probably are.
I don't know. I would just do it based on what the timer looks like.
Bro, I can't math. Interesting. I don't feel like I've seen our runners use the mushroom at all. These
No, they
4
really
races.
haven't. Their amiibo RNG has been good enough that they've.
Yeah.
What happened there to P5?
What? I wasn't paying
he
attention.
he was doing the ragdoll clear.
Right. Okay, yeah.
That was intentional.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. I looked over and it looked like Link had like tripped over the pot or something. Which is not a thing, but all right. Something not quite right there with that wind bomb. But he manages to back it up.
Nice. Alright, Moist has been struggling with this scope all day. It's fine. He's got it.
To get there after a few tries.
Mm-hmm.
Gets the first out of bound wind bomb. Shoots the arrow. Gets the second.
Alright. So still a lot of time for Moist to make up. It is certainly possible, but it requires a mistake from P5 at this point.
Yep, well, we'll have to see.
15 seconds is a lot once you get to blights.
Definitely. I mean, as we've seen, these runners are so fast, and every little
So consistent.
loss of even just seconds will start to add up.
Yep.
Player 5 hits his.
Alright.
Looks like triple
Okay.
hits for Player 5. Very nice and
Ooh,
fast there.
spicy triple hits. Nice.
Just get doubles.
It's not bad, just slower.
Yep. Nice shots there for Player 5. Trying to get this one cycle. He gets
Nice. That's a good one cycle.
it. Yeah, very solid.
You'll see that's what these runners are doing with these body shots on Water Blight. They're getting this one cycle.
He does miss a hit there on Fireblight. Very easy to make back up, but a slight time loss. Doesn't. Second save there.
Alright, Fireblight. See if he's nice. Whoa. That was...
Player 5 should be able to get the one cycle here. Oh,
Bruh.
that was on him.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, look at him, Boyd.
Moist gets it.
Okay.
So that's
Wow.
gonna tighten the gap.
It's like 3/4 of a blight phase ahead.
Alrighty.
Ooh, boy. Scary.
Yeah, super close.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting coming down to, as we saw in the first match,
Oh,
one
Player
of
5. Alright. He's fine, he recovered there, but that's a little bit of time loss.
yeah. Again, Calamity RNG is one of the only remaining factors in this run. And where we're talking about here is, well, the runners have got to make their headshots, which is, again, difficult. Both of them are going to do fast. Oh, Moist.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Ooh.
So Moist doesn't get that initial flurry rush, which is going to mean that he's going to need to get in some extra damage somewhere.
Did need to pick up the extra shield.
Mhm.
He did.
Yeah. You gotta remember these runners are a little bit nervous here. Just knowing kind of where they are. So.
Player 5 already on to phase 2. Moist gonna
Gotta
get
get-
in a few more hits. Oh, still
unlucky.
doesn't get the flare rush there.
Unlucky. Alright. It does look like...
Oh,
no.
no. Runs into the fire. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't go for the flurry rush with the fire up. He would have just run into it, and the result would have been the same.
Mm-hmm. Oh, such a close match there until there. We're gonna look at Player 5 to finish out the rest of his stun lock. And probably take this home.
Oh, he does. He was one durability short on that Claymore, but he knows what to do. Manages to get it. Player5 gonna be just 2 minutes away from finishing out this game and winning the match and the whole tournament.
Yeah. Is that 3 years in a row?
If not more. Yeah, he's on a good streak in this tournament.
Yep. It's funny because Player5's breakout was in was it the 2021 Breath of the Wild tournament?
That sounds right. I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
I remember us talking about this Dark Horse guy. Player5. He was like racing with some of the greats, Skedo and Razin and
QT.
yeah, QT. Oh yeah, I remember. 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember it's 2020, 2021. But yeah, it's very cool to see kind of just his consistency continue to be amazing, and to see players like Moist come up and be close to just as consistent as him, and just put on a great show for all of us.
Yeah, super tight, very impressive running. Being able, like, these times that they're pulling off in the race are times that, like, many runners would be so happy to have as their PB, and these guys just, like, you know, pull it out in a race, no reset situation. It's really wild.
Yeah. I do want to note for Moist is not feeling well today, so for him to play as well as he did while he's got a cold is impressive. So
yeah,
congrats to Moist for kind of sticking through it and playing even while he doesn't feel good. GG's to Player5. He's played within like 3 seconds this entire set of 4 runs.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's crazy. Again, we say he's the consistency king here.
Yeah, that third race was extra fast, but like his first 2 and this 4th one, all within like 2 seconds of each other. That's absolutely wild.
Very crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Moist just finishes this out because it's the last run in the tournament.
Yeah, let's go Moist. Finish strong.
Well, of course, doesn't quite get the claw.
Middle claw from Calamity there. Parry there.
Yeah. Oh
Get
man.
We go into the wall. That is annoying.
Oh man.
Does manage to get a headshot there.
Do you remember those old routes having to save your bomb arrows to get Calamity off the wall?
Yes. Not fun.
Oh boy.
Man, Calamity.
Calamity is not very nice.
No.
Oh, okay,
Does manage
nice.
to get him off there at least. Does at least get instant laser. That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, gets the double hit there with that edge of duality.
Nice.
Nice little all-time save. Very hard to do consistently.
Very, very nice. And he just needs to take it home on this last stun lock. Yeah. Oh no!
no. Oh,
Why? I just needed to get one last one in
Yeah. Oh.
before the end of this, bro.
Oh, what? Okay. Going for the quick flurry rush here. Get those hits in. Man, normally you'd have the boomerang there, but because
Yeah.
he had to throw it to get Calamity off the wall, some good improvisation there.
Yeah.
Finish that one out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know if Player5 is gonna be in the waiting room. Can I drag him? Do we want to wait until most is finished? Okay, there we go. Yo, P5.
Welcome in. Congrats.
Thank you.
How does it feel to have won the Breath of the Wild Any Percent Tournament 2025?
It feels pretty good. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go this time around because I feel like the competition this year has been like even more fierce than before.
Mhm.
A lot of people have gotten 23s. I think like Moldy, Moist, Trevor, Draco Link, and then me. Like there were a bunch of people with 23s, so I could see it going. Honestly, anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was some super tough competition. Lots of very high level runners in this year's tournament. It was awesome to see.
And most of those people have picked up Breath of the Wild within the last year, correct?
Let's see, Draco Link, Moldy, Moist, kind of. He's like been in the community for a long time, but I think he started like seriously running within the last year. It's a lot of like Tears of the Kingdom runners coming back to Breath of the Wild to learn it. Yeah.
Super cool to see.
Do you want some Taco Bell as a prize?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I can get you some Taco Bell. As Moist finishes up here. I know this year's tournament felt really, really long, but do you have any like notable moments that stand out to you?
Notable moments.
GG's.
GG's Moist.
Maybe, I don't know. It was kind of like I've kind of forgotten what happened in a lot of those runs, but you know, I played pretty consistently.
You were incredibly consistent today, right? 3 of your runs all within like 2 seconds of each other.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
GG's Moist.
Yo,
How do you
Oh,
feel?
GG's.
thank you, GG to you too.
How did you feel about your the runs you put together? Maybe especially that first one.
First one was alright. The rest were kind of bad. I lost a lot to Calamity. I feel like I just have delayed reactions today, so.
Hmm.
Dang, that's definitely tough. But yeah, good job getting the win in that first match, and we appreciate you fighting through to the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe you should have taken me to No Amiibo.
Yeah, I probably should.
The prophecy.
It's funny. You guys both. Did you guys get equal amounts of loading gate? Now I'm thinking about it. Or P5? I feel like you might have gotten one extra one.
I got 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one, yeah.
You got one. Okay, so P5 got one extra one. So.
Had to make itself heard from.
Yeah.
we kept up with the theme of the first person out of SOR won every match.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
SOR determined it.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what happened to my SORs after. I just kept like failing.
Well, it was
Maybe
funny because
the Switch 2
blockers.
running.
Yeah, maybe.
on the last one, you guys clipped out really, really close to one another, but with Player5 slightly ahead. And so you're like, oh no, it's gonna slightly win. And it turned
Yeah.
out.
50 SOR. Not bad.
Yeah.
Moist, any notable like things that happened for you throughout the tournament, rather in this match or any of the previous ones?
Let me think.
It was so long ago when it started, and you kind of went to a whole nother country, so.
Right.
In multiple countries.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I mean, I'm glad I hit the tricks I did, although some of them I missed, which is unfortunate, but
Yeah, you went for some very aggressive tricks. It was cool to see. Particularly, the cliff one bomb was pretty big in this last match.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Ended up taking a slight deficit and basically tying it up.
Oh yeah, we had a really nice moment in the first match where you guys like literally like showed off for us the difference in your stasis wind bombs because Player5 is doing the slightly longer one.
Well, yeah, I was scared.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
And then I messed up the easier wind bomb, like one of the races.
Yeah,
I think the one at the end.
Yeah, that last one. It was pretty funny. Or not funny, but you know.
it was dramatic.
It was dramatic.
Yes.
Yes. You guys should go watch it back and just see how many times I commentator cursed you. It was
bad.
actually pretty impressive. Like, I don't think I've
I
ever
was
done it
actually
that
listening.
much before.
Yeah, whenever you say something on commentary, I just immediately throw.
Exactly.
Ah, yes. Moist, was this your first tournament? I know it was your first Breath of the Wild one, but like speedrunning tournament in general?
No, I did an MSR one a few months back.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
I also just learned that run for the tournament.
We had a very close race.
Yeah, true.
Very nice. Yeah, well, hopefully
Well-
we'll get more of those different tournaments. It's fun to bring this one back after a year's hiatus, so big hit, and hopefully we see some more.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see what the future of any percent tournament is with the Switch
Yeah.
2 and all those different things.
This was the first
Well,
one I wasn't learning a run, actually, because I did a Tears one as well, and I was just learning that arrow smuggle stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice to just vibe during a run. Just go on your
Right.
muscle memory instead of having to like
Yeah.
No, that's
really,
why we should
really
have done the BTB route.
True, actually.
forced Moist to lock in.
Yeah. I'm sure you'd do fine.
I'm getting there.
Well, now that
Heck
the
yeah.
the tournament is over, what are y'all's next plans, speedrunning wise?
For me, I'm working on sub-hour Tears of the Kingdom glitchless on the Switch 2. And yeah, just before starting stream today, I was working on a 3-cycle strat. Know that 60 FPS changes the dragon fight.
Mm.
Very cool. Moist, you got any plans coming up?
Just mainly running the Switch 2 version, I guess. Trying to get a new PB. A what PB that has like good first try everything, pretty much.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Makes sense. Any last things you want to shout out before we wrap up?
I mean, shout outs to Pierre as always for organizing the tournament
Very much so.
and making sure things were moving as quickly as, as we could get them moving, since all the scheduling is a little bit tough. Shout outs to the restreamers. Thank you for putting on the grand finals. This was pretty exciting. Thank you, Lit and Crazy, for commentating.
You're welcome.
You're
Thanks for a
welcome.
great show.
Mm-hmm.
Hello to all the
And
runners as well.
yes,
Yeah.
if you like what you see here and you want to get into this, please join our Breath of the Wild Discord. We'd love to help you with any and all different glitches that you see here or routes. Lovely, lovely people there who are just really willing to help. So, and of course, go visit and follow these streamers. We can find you where, both of you?
Twitch.tv/player5.
And twitch.tv/moistgoolash.
Such a great one. All right. Cubs, I think we are good to go.
All right, let me add my GGs and congratulations, both of you. Well done. These are always fun races to just get to veg out to for a little while until Ganon decides to, be Ganon. Looking forward to at least I know I briefly brought this up with Player5, but it's been a while since we've done all Shrines race, right? Hasn't it?
Yeah. Since right before Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, over 2 years.
Might need to look at getting that going again over the summer. We'll have to see. Maybe give Trevor a little more time to learn the route this time. We might see if we can't get something done. Actually, I'm having thoughts all of a sudden. We'll come up with something. Keep an eye on the schedule, folks. There will be stuff coming. It's been Twitch, please, for the love of God. It's been a little light the last couple days, but we have plenty coming up on the schedule here in the near future. Again, congratulations, Player5. GG on second, Moist. Thank you very much for commentary, Crazy, and Litbooks. Any final thoughts before we head on out for the night?
Thank you for the restream.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for the restream. Thank you, Breath of the Wild community. Y'all have been wonderful, and looking forward to more fun events.
We're going to head on over to ZSR 2 for a semi-final race of the Zelda 2 Max Rando tournament going on. So if you're interested in that, please stick around for that. Until next time, all, stay safe out there. We will hopefully see you back here soon, and have a good night.
Thank